We're going to be talking tonight about what the five things that the divine needs from you. And if you're interested in starting a light work practice or healing practice, it's not as difficult as you think, as your mind might think it is. And I hope you're getting that sense from already the things that we've already talked about. But I'm going to share five things that the divine needs from you right now, because the world is moving into a very important era. We're already there. The average person who is maybe a non-empath or maybe is just starting their journey of awakening and consciousness is 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 maybe not quite aware in the level that we are. There's no ego there, right? We are aware that something very important is happening in the world, and we have moved into a completely new era. So the old rules, bye bye. The old rules do not apply any longer. So you're
Michael,
needed. Yes, Michelle.
to answer your question, I was going to say, um, to me, the answer would be that I'm a channel for the divine light,
Mhm.
and that the other component is what my soul gifts are, to share what my soul gifts are.
Yes. So I'm glad that you're recognizing the ear channel. Everybody, we're all channels, what Michelle just said. And I'm glad that you, Michelle, are recognizing that it's time to share those soul gifts.
Oh,
And I'm assuming that's why most of us are here tonight, because you're recognizing that it's time. And maybe there's just a few blocks that we need to remove. And we're going to start that right now. Okay. We're going to start that process. Now, um, for those of you that may not know me, I'm Michael. I like to think of myself as a professional out of the box thinker. Like that's really what I do is I try to take what's currently out there and as you will be doing, you'll be doing the same thing. Put my own little divine connection spin on it and share it in an original, maybe a new original way. And that's what the divine needs from you. They need you to do the same thing. So I've been doing this with empaths for 17 years. And I've been running classes and it's so much fun. I love it because I'm in my joy, and you are going to love it as well when you make the decision to follow that soul call and take action on your soul call. And you're going to get all of the support you need. And we're going to talk more about that. I was a professor. Oh my God. I'm like, it was such a horrible experience. Some of you may know, be in this experience now. How many of you are like raise your hands if this applies to you, maybe in a career or a job that you would like it's maybe either sucking the joy out of you, or it's like feels soul sucking, or maybe you're in a toxic work environment or you have a toxic boss, but you're sensing that it's time to move on. Whatever your situation is, it's time to move into something new. Raise your hand if that applies to you. I'm seeing a lot of nodding of heads. So about half of the group there. Yeah, I had my own version of that, and thank God I got fired because I was fighting with my department chair. I was trying to explain to him why I wanted to bring a group of counselors, master's level counselor trainees, to Santa Fe to go into a sweat lodge. And he got really scared at that idea because he was so mainstream and he didn't. So we got into fights, and bye bye, Michael. Thank God. Thank God that happened because it forced me to start Empath Connection. I grabbed the domain, and millions and millions of people, and it's not an exaggeration. I mean, I don't even know how many multiple millions of people have been helped by my work, but it's a lot. Now, that number is irrelevant. You're going to help the exact number and the exact people that you and the divine are working out together, that you are designed. That's a key word. You're designed to help certain people. It's part of your soul contract. And now the only thing really the divine needs from you are for you to address these five needs. Number one, um, actually, before we do that, I want you to just think of, I've talked a little bit of my legacy. All right. What do you want your legacy to be? When it's all said and done and it's your time to leave the earth and take your last breath, type into the chat box if you can capture it in a sentence, short, okay? Doesn't need to be perfect, just type something in quickly so we can get a sense. What do you want your legacy to be? because this is important. Because if you decide that you want additional training and want to do our paid class, the Soulpreneur, this is basically the first module of Soulpreneur, what we're doing tonight. If you want additional training, this is an important question for you to consider. What do you want your legacy to be? Spreading love, says Lori. Empowering moms. Oh, fantastic, Krista. You already know the specific population you want to work with. Amazing. Lori, that I made a positive impact on those around me. Yeah, wonderful. That I've used my gifts, Vivian, to help other people heal. Fantastic. I'm loving where we're already going with this. Okay. Now, um, what does the divine need from you in order that you may magnetically attract? I want you to consider yourself a magnet. And I want everyone to visualize yourself as a magnet right now. And just take one breath with me, all together, all of us together. Pull in your future. And now exhale into your own aura, a symbol of love. I like to use rainbows and doves. And I do this before every class. I was working with this group before we even began. That is something so simple. And that is how you attract your clients. It's really not difficult. It's definitely, but not by mastering a cut and dry, you know, corporate type, you know, marketing programs, for instance. It has nothing to do with that. How you magnetically attract is you pledge your service to the divine, which many of you have already done, and you just simply know that you are in a co-creative relationship with the divine. So the first thing that the divine needs from you, and this is first because it's usually the most prevalent, I would say, they need you to release any remaining or residual fears about being seen or heard or even judged. All right. We need you. And this is what the divine is saying. I'm a channel, you're a channel, we are channels. And when I say we, I know that it's not Michael speaking, it's the part of me that is my higher self speaking. We need you to remove and give over to us right now fears of being judged, seen, or heard. Okay, so everyone just give it over to them right now. Just in your own way, just say, I'm giving this over to you, divine, so that I can magnetically attract with you the exact clients that will be served by my gifts through you. We are not in this alone. Now, all right, just raise your hand. I want to get a sense of, for how many of you does this apply to? Being seen, heard, and potentially judged. Okay, Krista, you're like, hell yes. All right. So that's most of us. I mean, right? Even me. I've been doing it for 17 years and I still have those moments because I'm human and you're human, just like we're all dealing with the same thing where the ego does its job and it tries to keep us safe and it says, well, did I say the right things? Am I saying the right things? Did I say too much? So it's not a big deal. And why is it not a big deal? Because um, all you need to do is your part. You showed up here tonight, right? You're here. You're engaged. You're nodding your heads. You're raising your hands. You're interested. I can feel it, and so can we. And that's why I'm very happy that this is a small group tonight, because there's less noise. I can feel a level of commitment already in this group that in a group of 40, which is my traditional number of people, you cannot get that in a group. So you're here for a reason and you're committed. Now, knowing that you're judged in every day in small, mostly small ways, sometimes in larger, more uncomfortable ways. Like I probably get 1 to 2 comments a week where somebody is projecting their version of what they think I should be doing as a practitioner onto me. And I find it humorous now, and I don't spend any amount of time with it other than when people say, the typical comment is, how can you charge the level of money that you're charging which is not a lot, by the way. And then light workers are supposed to work for free, these types of comments. And that sort of thing is going to happen to you as a practitioner. So what do you do with that? You're asking yourself, what do I do with knowing that people are going to judge me? Can someone give voice concisely? What do you need to do knowing that you're going to be judged, or perceived might be a better word, has less charge to it. You're going to
Love
be
myself through it.
what'd you say, Michelle?
Love myself through it.
Exactly. Yeah, love yourself through it and love the people that are judging you through it. So what I do is I have a special folder, I've had it for 17 years. I started it my very first year in business, that every time I get a negative, someone projecting onto me, and I can feel it like you can, even before one word, or even before I read one word, I just drop it into a special email folder. Unsolicited email is what I call it. And I attach a prayer to that box. And every time I put the email into that box without reading most of it, I know that the divine is going to help that person be less judgy. That's my prayer. So that's what I do. And that's something that you can do as well. Now, what the divine really needs you to do is really simple. They just need you to take one teeny, 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 tiny baby step outside of your comfort zone. And for some of you, that's going to be signing up for Soulpreneur, or maybe that's a big step outside of your comfort zone, which is our paid, 8 module class that we're starting here shortly. But everyone has a different version of what that is for you. So think to yourself, okay, well, what is my version of that? What is my one step outside the comfort zone that spirit is asking me to do? Um, let's affirm together, okay? Because there's power in voice. And since we're talking about using our voice, let's actively do it. I love experiential exercises. So let's unmute the mics. Most of you got your mics unmuted. If you don't, please unmute it. And let's affirm together and feel into this and speak from either your heart or your gut. All right. And you're speaking from your higher self. All right.
Okay.
I am inherently worthy.
I am inherently
Worthy.
My worth cannot be changed
My worth cannot be changed.
and has nothing to do with what people think of me.
And
It has nothing to do with what people think of me.
Okay. Feel the echo that comes back to you when you say something like that. Now, let's take it even further. Imagine a spiritual deity. I always invoke Archangel Michael. You have your own version of that. Invoke that deity, that spirit guide, whether you know the spirit guide or not. Just invoke one of your spirit guides or all of them. All right, but pick one. Pick one if you can. For some, it might be Kali or Mother Mary, or it doesn't matter. But pick one. And now I want you to imagine that you are saying the following affirmation to your chosen being, your spiritual deity, so to speak. Okay. This is when I first said this 5 years ago, my mind was blown, and I hope yours will be too. All right. You're saying this to your chosen deity. My worth is equal to yours, beloved.
My worth is equal to yours, beloved.
And your worth is equal to mine, beloved.
And
your worth is equal to mine, beloved.
How does that feel?
Heavy.
I'm seeing what did you say?
Heavy.
It feels heavy. What
Yeah.
what are some other words? What else are we feeling here?
Intense.
Ooh, expansive.
Expansive.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Chills are the sign that the divine is with you. Once we recognize our worth, then it becomes easier, does it not, to recognize that, oh yeah, I'm just as worthy as Mother Mary. I'm worthy, just as worthy as Christ. I'm just as worthy as Buddha, as all of these beings that have lived on the earth and gone through, and we ascended masters. I am equal. I'm not above. They're not above me. They're not below me. We are equal. That is the energy that, when you know that, some of you have alluded to this, it takes away, it can help us very much take away those feelings of being not worthy enough to be seen or to be heard or to share my gifts. Who am I? All right. That's probably the number one biggest block that we need to release in order for you to have an income as a light worker.
Yeah.
Um, Someone who can share, again, concisely, because we want to respect everyone's time tonight. All right. What's the one thing that you've learned about life? What's one thing that you've learned about life that you could say in maybe one or two sentences that you've learned about the journey of life? Michelle.
The only constant is change.
Yep. Yep.
Woo, that's a big one. And that leads us, I'm so glad you said that, because it leads us directly into our very next thing that we need to accept, which is change. How did you learn that, Michelle, for all of us to hear? Just, can you fill us in? How did you come about that?
Because when I was younger, I tried to lock down and control and have everything be a guarantee. And the only guarantee I've gotten is that everything changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You and everyone else, whatever your version of what Michelle just said is, you have come to that through a lot of trial and error, probably quite a bit of pain, and trial and error invokes why we're here. We're here for the joy and the pain, both ends of this polarity. And that, Michelle, what you just said, there is a larger story behind that, just like we all have. And my version of that is, in 2014, I took a medicine journey. I left my body and I was in the angelic realm. And I'm like, where the hell am I? I was hanging out with the angels and I could not get back into my body. I could not come back fully onto the planet. It was traumatic as fuck being partly in the spirit realm and partly on earth and not knowing where I was. My egoic mind was so confused. It took me 3 years to get back. I went literally through hell and back, like we all have to go through as light workers and healers. We all have our version of that. No one is immune. But here's the thing. We all move past it because of the love that the divine has for us. We all move out of that, the dark night of the soul type of experiences. And you can draw an equal sign, because I love formulas. And even though I spend most of my day in my right brain, I didn't get a PhD for no reason. I love equations, I love math, and I love formulas. So you can draw an equal sign. My story equals $sign. That's how light workers that's how we make our income. It just is. People need to hear your story. So, and in Soulpreneur, I'm going to lead you, again, baby steps. I'm going to give you the things that you need to do to make it non-overwhelming, to make it feel safe, but you're still stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you're going to share your story in the class if you decide to show up for the class. Now, number two, since we already had it mentioned, releasing fears of the unknown or scary. So when we think about stepping out onto our own, which is an illusion because we're never on our own, we have a partner in the divine and in our guides. They just need us to release that fear that Michelle talked about and alluded to, that we're not in charge. We're not in charge of any of this. And the sooner that you can accept that I am not in charge, the quicker the clients are going to come to you. And that is your best marketing that there is for you to accept that who is really in charge of your practice is not you, it's your guides, and it's the divine that is here supporting you. So, not having a consistent income, these are all the fears that we're now letting go of. Okay, we're getting a head start. We're going to be talking more about these types of things in the class in our first couple of modules, but not having a consistent income or not having a steady paycheck, that was what kept me hanging on way too long, as was the belief. It was a false belief that I would be better served by staying in a consistent income job rather than leaping out on my own. Not knowing how your work is going to be received, that's unknown. Not knowing if you have what it takes, that's a little bit unknown. Do I have the confidence to do this? Not knowing exactly who the clients are going to be coming to you, not knowing who's going to show up at your door seeking your services. All of these things could be considered scary by your human egoic mind, which is, those of you in the academy, you know this by now, that there's 4 parts of the mental body. One of them is your ego, your egoic mind, and its only job has one job, and it is to keep you safe from perceived threats. And once we throw those beliefs and teach the ego that it's okay, that the unknown is actually what? What is the unknown from a 5D perspective, everybody? What is a word that comes to you? The unknown is what?
Possibility.
Possibility. Yeah. What else? What's the unknown from 5D, not from the ego? It's an adventure. It's thrilling. It's exciting.
Mystery.
It's a mystery. It's joyful. It's playful. These are all 5D energies. And that's what you are asking for more of. It's not rocket science. And here's what else 5D is: simple. Your mind and our mind and my mind is designed by the universe to make things complex, to keep us safe. But once we realize that that's its job, then we can rise above it and we can go 5D and we can realize, like, well, geez, this is actually kind of fun, this unknown thing. Like, it's actually not scary. So we're going to be doing, you're going to be experiencing that. We're not going to be working on it. You're going to experience the fun. You're going to experience the joy. You're going to experience the play, because that's what the 5th dimension is all about. And yeah. So number 3, does anyone have any comments that you want to add to that, by the way, before we move on to the 3rd thing that the divine needs from you? Questions or comments, things that are resonating?
Yeah, actually, I just realized, because especially number 1 has been a real stumbling block from me, but not from all of me. It's more like the ego mind that kind of, jumps in there, but it's very specific. It's not general to, clients that I have had, people that I know, anything like that. It's very specific to my family. And I've realized and recognized that it has to do with programming, very deep programming along those lines. And what I'm recognizing now that we're going through this is I actually am safe. I mean, I'm a grown
Yes.
up. Right?
Yes.
I'm a grown up. I'm not that vulnerable child that didn't feel safe and was very vulnerable. And so that's a really beautiful inner connection for me, that just kind of sparked. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. We can all relate to what you just said, that what I'm hearing, you didn't really use this word, but we and you, it sounds like you are recognizing that your job and our job is to reparent ourselves, to make ourselves feel safe. And how do we do that? We simply connect to the divine, our true parents in the divine. And that's how we make ourselves feel safe, and safe enough, especially to tell my own mother. You mentioned your family, Ursula. Every time I talk to my mother, she's like, well, what do you do again? I've been hearing this for 17 years now. And there's only we all see things through our own lenses. So if you decide to take Soulpreneur, you'll get the confidence to be able to, one of the exercises in the class is to be able to have different ways of explaining what you do to different people. Number 3, releasing beliefs. We already alluded to this about needing more training or more credentials. You have a connection to spirit. You have honed that in the way that you've done, and that is all that people need. Believing that you need more training or more credentials is a form of perfectionism. It can. Now, if you want to get more training and credentials, wonderful, fabulous. Do you need it? Probably not. I'm suggesting that you probably don't need it. And Regina, we've talked about this so much, you and I, right? Like, I mean, I hope it's okay that I can share this, right? That Regina, we're all on the same journey. We're moving out of our heads. And Regina's a clinical psychologist, right? Clinical psychologist?
Actually, cultural psychologist,
Cultural.
but I have a PhD, so people often think that, but I didn't go that route because I was already kind of teetering. Should I be traditional? Should I not? And I went the non-traditional route because I kind of knew I was going that direction. But people might assume that.
So I bring this up because you're a great example. I'm a great example. We have the doctorates, but do we need it? No, we don't at all. We don't need training. We don't need credentials. If you want it, fantastic. But what people need is your presence. And the divine really needs us now to set aside the belief that you need additional training because they're going to provide the training for you. Your connection to God, source, spirit, whatever you call it, is the only thing that you need. And so let me ask you this. In relationship to what we're talking about here, how much time per day do you spend on social media or with television or any media for that instance, versus how much do you spend with the divine? And by divine, I mean in nature, because that is the divine, and connecting to the divine through prayer or any kind of meditation, whether it's active, listening to a YouTube meditation, or whether it's passive, just quieting your mind. In this day and age, if you are not spending an equal amount of time with the divine as you are with social media or media, you will not succeed as a light worker. You must. And I cannot emphasize this enough, they need you to spend time with them. They will give you everything you need, not the credentials. Okay? This is really important. And this is why Soulpreneur program works. Because not only do we have the live classes and the modules where you'll be spending time on your own, and the outside of class assignments, I call them inspired action assignments rather than homework. Homework has such a negative charge to it. That is how you will magnetically attract income and go to the next level in your practice, is by spending more time with the divine. They really need you. They need you. So let's affirm this, everyone. Raise your hand. Okay. Raise your hand up and just say to yourself out loud, I'm needed by the divine.
I'm needed by the divine.
And I pledge my commitment to the divine.
And I pledge my
commitment to the divine.
Yeah. If you get nothing else from today's event other than that there is gold. Okay. Now, where are we? Number 4? 4 or 5? I don't even know, because okay. So releasing fears about being overwhelmed. Am I going to be overwhelmed? Is it going to be too much? It's too complex for me to think. These are the kind of thoughts that we think, oh my gosh, how am I getting, where do I even begin? I see some smiles on your faces, right? We as empaths and sensitive people, we easily get overwhelmed. So what I do in our programs in Soulpreneur, I make it it's very important that you do not feel overwhelmed. So Um, Achievable, realistic goals are what we work on. Small, even small, tiny, uh, achievable is a key word. The roots of being overwhelmed comes down to, I think, two roots. Number one, perfectionism, which is what a root of a lot of our ills. Um, if you would like to release the fear of being overwhelmed, just raise your hand. Oh man, did Lori? I saw that hand go up like a magnet. That went up so fast. Okay, do you guys realize that just raising your hand like this, what does it do? It's asking the divine for help. So that's why it's something really simple, right? It's a simple action, just raising your hand. But we are really doing together, working together, is we're amplifying our ask. And when we ask, that's how we attract. We need to have a question or a request in order to magnetically attract through law of attraction. And a question you will come to learn, you're going to start asking very, very specific questions. Um, and so we are learning to release perfectionism, which is one of the roots of being overwhelmed, is trying to do too much and trying to do it in a particular way that our mind thinks, oh, it must be done exactly this way. And it's just too much. So we simplify. The other root of being overwhelmed can come from a disconnection from source. So if you're not spending your time in nature, which is mandatory for you at this point, if you're going to be a light worker, it's mandatory. You need to go touch the trees. You need to go into the lakes when it's warm. You need to go look at clouds and watch how clouds move. That is, clouds move slow for a reason, right? Because when we look at a cloud, that's the vibration of spirit. It's the vibration of when you're in spirit, that's how slow you're being asked to move. So when you connect to a source, that equals income as well. Every minute you spend in meditation or with nature, that is income. It's clients coming to you and all of those sorts of things. So, and if you're confused about who you're going to work with and, what are my gifts? What do I have to offer? These are egoic based thoughts that have a little bit of a vibration of fear to them. Um, Guess what? Is it possible? Ask yourself this. Is it possible for me to be at all confused when I am connected to source? I saw Vivienne, you're saying no. Why? Tell us why. Why not?
I don't know. It feels like it's not because we're getting the information from straight up.
Yes. And the vibration of straight up is either complete neutrality, and in neutrality, there is no confusion. Confusion cannot exist. Confusion is a human 3D energy. So if you're finding yourself confused, which you will, and you will, if you decide to take Soulpreneur, you'll be confused. And I'm going to show you why confusion is gold. Confusion equals income. And you're going to get that in the modules. I hope you're intrigued. Okay. And straight up is either neutral, where there's no confusion, or it's clarity. It's one of the two. It's either no answer and you're okay with no answer, or it's clear answers that drop like glitter from spirit. And they do give us those moments of aha moments. And you will have many of them if you decide to do the Soulpreneur class. Think of something in your life that is mildly like either bothering you or maybe even frustrating you on that level because you don't have an answer to this question yet.
I
All
can
right.
think of something that you told me in that fourth class
What's that?
when I told you that I was left-handed and I felt my polarities were backwards,
Mm-hmm.
that I had the gift that like some people had that Heyoka gift that had it strongly, that
Yeah.
just left me boggled for, took me a few days to get my mind off of it.
Yes. All right. Everyone think of something that is, again, mildly bothering you, or maybe even if you up at a level, frustrating you because you don't have an answer or clarity yet. Okay. And if you can't think of anything, no problem. What if, confusion or lack of clarity, either or, they're very similar. What if that were actually a good thing? And what if it were not a problem? Okay. Why is it not a problem? Because not knowing is a form of divine protection. What if not knowing were a form of divine protection? I'm suggesting that it is. You are meant to know something at the exact moment that you are meant to know it, not before or not after. So let's affirm that together, that we don't need to know for the benefit of our minds. And we set the expectation that and the intention that it's okay not to know. So let's just repeat after me. This is a powerful phrase. And just conjure up the energy of the question that you don't have the answer to. And close your eyes for this one. Place your hand on your heart, your right or your left hand, it doesn't matter. And just feel into these words and just repeat after me with your microphone open, if you can. Okay. I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't need to know.
And I don't need to know.
I have permission not to know right now.
I have permission not to know right now.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Mm,
When you
good.
affirm, right? When you affirm that as true, it
Mhm.
kind of takes a lot of lighter, it takes the pressure off. Yeah. Your business as a light worker is going to evolve over time. And that is part of what you signed up for as a empath, as a budding light worker, or as a light worker if you're already practicing. So we affirm that not knowing is a huge spiritual gift, and it's a part of spiritual mastery. Okay, we already covered. We have 5, but we already talked about all 5 of these thus far, and we're getting to the point now where I just want to share a little bit about the class briefly, a couple minutes, and then I'm going to take some of your questions that you might have for me or for the divine. All right. So, Soulpreneur, and some of you have mentioned that you're very interested in taking the class. So, if you do take the class, this is probably going to be a good. The people here now are probably good, several of us are probably of you are probably going to sign up for the class. Wonderful. So the class is a hybrid. I ran it live, like fully, all 8 weeks, all 8 modules. I ran it live in fall of 2022. And I got permission from the class to share those video recordings with the future versions of the class. And they were very happy to do that. So the 8 modules each week is, we take it in digestible chunks, a 2-hour video lesson, and then 1 or 2 outside of class inspired action assignments each week. And then our first class starts next week. Well, actually, it's kind of starting a little bit tonight, but what we're really going to do is initiate the circle next Monday, a week from today, and we're gonna go pretty deep. It'll be a 2-hour or so class each time, and then we work from 3 live classes from February through May, first week of May. Those are coaching only. All right. So once you sign up for the class, you can dig into the first module right away. If you sign up tonight, you can dig into the module tonight or tomorrow, whenever. And so here's what you're gonna, receive is the clarity that of who you're going to be serving. specific populations of how to of who you're going to serve and how to go about gaining clients. You're going to have the confidence. Your confidence level is going to rise through the exercises that we do. And here's by the end of the modules, here's the aspirational goals. Now, are we saying that all of these things are going to happen? No.
Mhm.
And are we aspiring to all of these things happening? Yes, we're aspiring. There's is an important difference. Okay. So we
Mhm.
aspire that you're going to have a business name. You're going to have a simple, very simple one page website. If you want to make it more, you can. You're going to have an established social media presence. If you decide that that is in alignment for you, it's totally up to you. I'm not forcing you to do social media. That's not how this works. You need to discover what is in alignment and what is not in alignment based on your soul contract. And each module will have, you'll discover that. Okay. You're going to discover what's in alignment, what's not in alignment. Maybe Instagram is in alignment, but Facebook is not. Or maybe YouTube is in alignment for you and Instagram is not. So you're going to have your first professional offering. And by offering, that can take a variety of forms. You're going to have discovered whether you want to offer one-on-one sessions, and you're going to learn that why doing single sessions is not generally a good idea. Packages are often much better. So you're going to have your offering developed. You're going to have a workshop developed. You're going to have a presentation developed to take that workshop on the road, if you will, if you want. You will have decided whether you want to offer classes, whether you want to offer self-paced classes, whether you want to offer live classes. These are the types of specific questions that you're going to have clarity and definition on as you work your way through the 8 weeks in those modules. And then the coaching classes are there for me and us to help each other. So you're going to be helped by me and my perspective, and I will tune in as you guys know that work with me. I work with spirit. I work with your higher self. So you'll get nudges from your spirit guides. I will share those nudges from your spirit guides with you. Um, you will learn how to network. You will have a network of contacts. You will have developed professional co-collaborators and co-creators. You will have your first paid client if you're just getting started. That's an aspiration. Okay. So you can see that we work with this model. All right. And those of you in the academy, we just talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. We start off really vague up here. Okay. This is spirit. It's vague. It's nebulous. And then what we do is we get very specific down here to the bullet point. That same process is going to happen with your business in coming up with names and who you want to work with and all of this sorts of thing. If you decide to take the class, my commitment is to you, and I take that seriously. I have a very large network of followers who I am very happy and excited to share your work with once you get your materials and your class offerings ready. And so I make that commitment to not only work with you personally, but once you're ready, even if that's a year down the road, or even if that's 2 years down the road, I will share your work with our larger Empath Connection community. And here's the great thing. You're not going to get overwhelmed. And if you do, we'll work through it. Okay. We'll work through it so that you're not overwhelmed. So that is the Soulpreneur class in a nutshell. And we're going to end tonight. I'm going to open it up for not questions about the class just yet. Okay. We'll hold off. If you want to stay extra, we're going to close with a meditation here in a little bit. Powerful. We're going to take the group really deep because I always like to end. It's always a good thing to end with the 5D energy. So we're going to do a meditation here in a few minutes. And then after the meditation, once we're officially done, we'll probably go another 10 minutes or so. Then if you have specific questions about the Soulpreneur class itself, then everyone else who's not interested in Soulpreneur, or if you don't have questions, you can have a nice evening, go on your way. And if you do have questions about Soulpreneur, stay and I'll interact with you and answer your questions about the class itself. But right now, this is a forum in a few minutes for you to, whoever has questions about like the how type of questions, about your where you're going, where you're headed, things that you'd like illumination or perspective on that might have come up during our talk here and our sharing tonight. So this is your chance to put it out there. Yeah, Lori.
Okay. So and this is kind of like maybe a personal question to you, but when you were in that transitory timeline, how do you stay patient with yourself because you don't know how long it's going to take to transition from what you were doing to what you have potential to do?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay patient? So I'm hearing an ask for you. You're asking for help from the divine so that you can stay patient as you work your way through that.
Yes,
That really
I'm in a very transitory time frame, and I'm tired of I'm tired of not knowing. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of asking a lot of questions, and I just kind
okay.
of if I would get those answers. So
What do
how
you?
to stay patient?
Okay, so can you share with us a little bit more about what are you moving into and what are you moving away from?
So, well, first of all, I am a dance studio owner. I own a dance studio, which
Mhm.
will lead me to my soulpreneur question in a little bit, about when is it offered and stuff. So my business partner retired unexpectedly this summer. And of course, there's a lot of transition there. And I I have been working 7 days a week. I love what I do. I love creating. I love the kids. I love mentoring. I love what I do. But with, I also know that I've had a spiritual awakening in the last 3 years. And with my fatigue has come more messages, but I don't know what they mean. I don't know. Like I told you in the chat that I had somebody's passed on grandpa come and give me messages, and thank God they believed, because then I was able to say these were the messages, and they were like, oh my gosh, they were so excited. I was like, I don't know where I got that from. I don't know why I got that from. I don't know. I don't know how to control it. I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know, like, am I supposed to incorporate this? I do meditation with my dancers when I can sense that their day has been like they're very stressed because of school or whatever. Sometimes we'll do some grounding work at the last 5 to 10 minutes of class. So I know there could be a market there. I just there's just a
Here,
lot going on.
okay, here's what I'm
So
feeling. Okay, and those of you that are really listening can also feel this. This is important. Okay, your question is answered by how you feel in your body, and this goes for all of us. When you are talking about the dance studio, when you were just a moment ago talking about it, what was happening inside your body? Were you aware of what was happening to your energy field and inside your body, the feeling?
rushed. I feel rushed. I
Yes.
feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, rushed. And I can feel that in my way. The word I would use is I could feel my own energy, because we're all connected, contract.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart chakra my heart started beating faster. It did not feel good.
Mm-hmm.
That is an answer. Now, when you were talking about mediumship and having spirits coming to you, I felt something the complete opposite of that. What did you feel?
Well, I think it's cool that it happens, but I don't know how or why it happens. You know?
We don't need to know yet, right? We affirm that the answers are going to come for you. The intellectual answers. The answer is there right now. And how does the answer come to you, Lori? And for all of us, it comes through what we feel as we are thinking about a potential. When you were talking about mediumship, your entire lower chakras expanded and you got instantly grounded and rooted even more. and I
Yeah.
felt pleasure. I literally was feeling pleasure in my stomach and down
Yeah.
my legs. What does that tell you, Lori? That's an answer.
Okay.
Okay. We need to affirm that everybody that energy is an answer more than the intellect sometimes is the
Good.
so does that give you how does that impact you, Lori, knowing that you are receiving answers?
So there, I think I have to release resistance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Resistance to?
Yeah, and then there's fear. There's fear. There's because it is when spirit comes, it is a little overwhelming, and
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to happen. And of course, I tear up and cry when spirit comes near. That's just something that happens. I don't know how to control the tears.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe the laughter means that somebody else has experienced that. I don't know. It's like I said, it's all still very new. So it
Yeah.
was kind of interesting when somebody said, I don't even know where to begin. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm still not sure where to all begin with this.
And that's okay.
Okay.
And that's okay. And if you do sign up for Soulpreneur, are you thinking about Soulpreneur?
I think I've asked you this question in an email once before when you offered different classes, and same with another empath, that because a lot of times the classes are in the evenings, and that's when I work. That's when I teach. So if it's something like where it's an online course where it's self-paced,
It is.
then
It
it
is.
is.
Yes.
Okay.
So Soulpreneur is a hybrid. So the majority of what you learn, if you sign up for Soulpreneur, which if you do, you will be doing it on your own time. You'll be doing the modules on your own time. The only classes that are in the evening are the 3 coaching classes on next Monday, and then a month from now on March 25th, I believe, and then one on May 6th. So you have a several month period, 3-month period actually, to work through the modules. And then I purposely space them a month apart, about a month apart, so that you can have that time to let things percolate.
Do you have to attend all 3 of those?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, if you, I'm glad you asked that. If you didn't attend any of the coaching classes, here's the other. I'm so glad you brought this up. I totally forgot this. I work with you through voice text as an alternative. So if you can't attend the coaching classes, this goes for everyone. If you decide to take the class, you have access to me through voice text. I do a lot of my work through voice text and or even just text. But I like to get voice text because I can feel more, I can get the inflection. So I'm happy to coach you as a part of the program, Lori, and anyone who's thinking about it that way. If you can make the coaching classes, wonderful. If you can't make the coaching classes, also wonderful. It's not required, they are optional. Okay. And you'll get everything that you need through our interaction via text or email or voice text and the self-paced modules, because they are self-paced. You do it on your own time.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for that magical moment and sharing what you did. It helps all of us to hear that. Does anyone else have anything that they want to briefly add, or something that may have come up based on something Lori said?
Basically, what I've felt from her when she talked about mediumship kind of feels like me when I know something that my head thinks is not a good thing to do, but my heart knows it's good. I just get this kind of nervous excitement.
I'm
It's
glad
the
you're.
it's the same reaction that I had when I was in high school and just before a music show.
Yeah.
Nervous excitement is your
Yeah.
soul speaking to you.
Yeah.
That's the soul. That's your higher self. That's how the higher self communicates, is through that.
Like I'm nervous but excited at the same time. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
And when I feel that, I know that a decision, something that I decided to do is the right thing.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Follow that soul call, follow that nervous excitement, follow, you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. And it's up between you and spirit to decide what your next steps are. This class is one very good option for, if you're here tonight as a potential next step for you. Yeah. Other comments or questions before we head into, we got time for one more, and then we're going to end with a meditation. And then I'm going to, yeah.
I was just going to say I have the some clarity, but some questions around my ideal client, but you may not want to talk about that now or another time.
Probably not. Let's just hear the question briefly, and I have a feeling though that it'll be answered in the very first module, actually.
Oh, okay. So I have two ideas for ideal client. One is it's so simple and crazy, and I'm doing it now, but not for money, but it's so fun and it's just like a no-brainer.
Mm.
And then the other one scares me incredibly because it's very close to my heart. But I also feel like it's one of those 5 things that you mentioned, just I'm becoming perfectionist and all that kind of stuff. But I can't really figure out which one to do. There is the easy, fun one. The other one is sort of very near and dear to my heart.
Okay, that is that question will be answered in the first module.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll get a lot of clarity on that. And again, there's that theme of that excitement, right? Kind of what Vivienne was talking about. One is easy, one is fun. What if there weren't necessarily, what if they both were true, is what I could offer you. Like what if you could embrace both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
actually, in this call, I was thinking, yeah, like I don't actually have to really weed them out. They can be two separate, but they can have the same, whatever the word is.
yeah.
Personality. It's like a personality, and that they can exist for these two different groups of people to have that personality.
Multi tracks. I mean, you guys know, like, I don't just do one thing. I do business mentoring. I do mediumship. I mean, I love creating like many ideas. Now, could I have done what I do? I literally have like 12, 13 different programs, but that's through a lot of work. And the same thing is going to happen to you as you go, as all of us evolve as practitioners. We just grow. We expand, and our containers, our presence can hold more ideas at the same time. So that's potentially something that might happen for you too, Krista.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's end with a nice little meditation. I always like meditations that sink us energetically down deep and get into the stillness, but then also meditations where we're asking questions to our guides. So this meditation is twofold. It's going to bring you into the 5D energy, and you will receive that directly, and then indirectly in the background, your guides will be with you, as they are in all of our classes, because our classes are ceremonies. And that's what a ceremony is intentional connection to that energy. And you will get clarity as well by asking these questions. So we will do that, and then we will end our ceremony. And then if any of you have additional questions that you want a little bit of time with me to talk about the class itself, then you can hang on and stay on. Just don't leave, okay? And then I'll make myself available for 5-10 more minutes if for any other additional questions about the class itself. All right. Thank you for showing up today. And let's plant our feet on the ground and exhale all that has come before this moment as we say thank you to Divine Mother below, Divine Father above, And for all of our guides that are with us, thank you for shepherding us along our journey. We are grateful for you and the clarity that you provide. Imagine a sphere of light beneath your feet and breathe up the energy of connection from Mother Earth into your lungs and feel your ribs actually expanding. And then exhale back into that sphere of light, making it bigger beneath your feet. Slow 6-second or so inhale from Mother Earth, and in 7 or 8-second exhale, if you can get it, don't push it. On your exhale, we breathe out all that is not serving our highest good. And we thank the divine for taking that from us. Breathing from a sphere of light above your head, down into your lungs, slowly, gently, the energy of the fifth dimension, the energy of spirit, which ignites us into joy and allows us to radiate love for ourselves out to the world. Thank you. Becoming aware of your own breath. If there is any straining, just relax. Become aware of your shoulders and how they are positioned, and ask your shoulders if they would like to make any micro adjustments so that you may receive more through your heart chakra. You may want to adjust them and move them slightly backwards. This has the effect of opening the chest. And imagine that there is a magnet pulling your sacrum down towards the earth, and a magnet pulling your head and your spine upwards towards spirit. Very gentle micro movements when we do this visualization. And now we thank Spirit for providing us clear energy and answers for the following questions. And we thank you, Spirit, in advance for always providing us with the answers that we seek. And we thank you for allowing us to be patient while those answers reveal themselves to us. Show me how I look when I am radiating my healing presence and deeply engaged and committed to my healing journey and sharing my gifts with confidence. How do I feel, look, and how am I when I am deeply engaged in sharing you with others and helping them heal? How does my face look to you as I look at my own eyes? What are my eyes radiating when I'm engaged in light work and grounded and connected to you? How does my mouth feel right now, knowing that this is coming for me? And how do I feel emotionally knowing that my clients right now are being helped by this very connection right now? How are my clients feeling and reacting towards me when I am helping them with my presence and with your energy? Show me what their faces look like as we are working together with you, Spirit, deeply engaged in healing work. How do I feel knowing that I will soon have flexibility and freedom to engage my gifts by being self-employed? What will I do with my free time, and how will I spend that time knowing that I will not be racing, that I will be spending more and more time in the stillness? And how do I feel emotionally knowing that you are going to provide me all that I need? Clients, income, financial abundance, clarity. How does that make me feel? Knowing that those things are all coming as a result of me saying yes. Spirit, how am I original? Show me, reveal to me my own originality. What are you asking from me right now to share that originality with others? How do I engage that originality? Through thought and through actions that you may be asking me to take. Thank you, Spirit, for all that you provide for me. And show me now, what parts of my own journey are you asking me to share with others? With the understanding that my vulnerability and my authentic sharing lays the foundation for you to be able to bring me clients. Show me how I can do that with you as a true partner. Spirit, I am opening my heart chakra, and we are opening our heart chakras even more right now to breathe in your essence into our hearts gently and slowly. We thank you for opening our hearts even more to the truth so that we can share from a place of humility, passion, joy, humor, and unconditional love that we are. We set the intention that this energy will remain with us for the rest of our evenings, and that the majority of the answers to the questions that we have asked will come in our everyday lived experience. And we thank you for providing answers and clarity in this way. We love you, and we know that you love us. And our only job is to connect more deeply to that love so we can ignite that in others. We end this meditation by hugging our own bodies with our own arms. We wrap ourselves in the arms of love and self-love. And we thank ourselves for showing up today to receive more and more of this love. Namaste. Amen. And so it is. When you feel ready, slowly bring yourself back to consciousness. Open your eyes. Thank you for your being here and your role in what we have